Hey guys, ECRG here, back with another episode. Today I've got a juicy episode for you guys. I think this one is going to be extremely valuable, extremely high yield for anybody looking to break into the clinical research industry or looking for clinical research coordinator positions. Because I recently had someone who emailed in, we talked a little bit about their kind of career path via email, answered some questions for them, that type of thing. And they responded back. They had an interview for a clinical research coordinator position. And they actually responded back and wrote down some of the questions that were asked of them during the interview and kind of detailed the situation. So I'm going to go into that here in a second. But before I do, I just want to let all of you guys know about the resume review program we've got going on. If you're interested in taking your resume to the next level, let's say you're having a hard time breaking into the industry, maybe just don't know if your resume is up to par or up to the quality needed to get into this highly competitive industry of clinical research, I decided to create the resume review program for you. So if you are interested in taking your resume to that next level, email me eliteclinicalgroup@gmail.com, and I'm here to help, guys. So let's go ahead and get back into this. So this person, I'm just going to go ahead and basically say what they said. So when asked about the interview, they said, overall, it went pretty well. At the beginning, they filled out a little application form. They said there was a human resource representative present, but they ended up leaving a little bit early. So overall, the interview was about 40 minutes in length. And they said in the beginning, the questions were kind of general, related to the background, such as where you grew up, where they went to school, things like that. Next question they asked was, why do I want to work in clinical trials? What do I know about clinical trials, etc.? So more general questions about clinical trials. This seems like a standard interview, standard interview talking point here. Next questions they asked about were about challenging situations. How do you handle situations in crisis? How do you handle certain ethical issues? What would you do in such situations? And if she could give examples, and if the person could give examples from their previous work history. Now, this is what's called behavioral style interviewing. And I know a lot of people have issues with this style of interview. So I'm actually going to make more content about this in the future. But people have actually, and I've had clients specifically when we do our interview prep, they want to be asked these behavioral style interview questions because this is becoming very popular in the clinical research industry. And it's really becoming the way that clinical research questions are being asked nowadays for interviews. So next questions were, how are you in a team-like setting? Are you good with teamwork? Would you be a good fit for a team? They mentioned that, the research coordinator is a position that is in the middle of a bunch of other positions like patients, PIs, other doctors, sponsors, monitors, and they're key for making sure the clinical trial runs smoothly. So they asked about that. Let's see what else they said. So that's a lot of it. And then at the end, this person asked her some questions. So at the end of an interview, guys, it's always important to make sure that you ask questions. If you don't ask questions at the end of an interview, it kind of makes it sound like you don't care or you're unprepared. You don't want to come off like that. So there are some questions you definitely want to avoid, and there are some questions that you can't ask, but we'll talk about that in another interview, in another episode. This is not what this is about. So this is, and then they ended the interview with, what kind of salary are you looking for? And that's pretty much it. So we've talked about the behavioral style interviews in the past, and that's what's really common, and that's what is going to be used in clinical research style interviews. Doesn't matter if you're going to be applying for study coordinator, project specialist, project coordinator, project assistant. Behavioral style, especially for these entry-level roles, it is what is going to be asked of you. So I wanted to just report that to you guys. I wanted to know if that was going to be helpful for you guys, as helpful as I think it would be. I remember when I was applying for my first clinical research positions, I was wondering what kind of questions would be asked. And there you have it, from a real live client of mine, what questions were asked during an interview. So I have another client also who said that she would email in the questions that were asked of her. If you're interested, I also have other videos with talking about some of the questions that are asked during an interview. So go check those out. You can check those out on YouTube and the podcast as well. So, and stay tuned for more content on interviewing. That's definitely something I'm going to focus more on in 2019, because I know I've gotten a lot of requests for those type of episodes. So thank you for listening. As always, email me eliteclinicalgroup@gmail.com if you have any inquiries. Take care.